Hey everyone, happy Thursday. So today I wanted to come on and share a story about a situation that just happened with my son. And some of you may know that he got on a roll last semester, and math is just his absolute favorite subject. And I got an email from his teacher saying that they wanted to speak with me, and I went and looked at his grades, and his grade went from 101 in math down to a 70. And so I'm like, what is going on? So, usually we're taught, like, I feel like so many of us are taught to react and kind of, get upset with our children or get angry or yell and be like, what's going on? Like, why is your grades down? What are you doing? And get in that reactive mode. But, ultimately that makes the child feel like they did something wrong. When, in hindsight, like, it might be something that's going on in the child's surroundings. And that could have been weeks ago. So, I was like, all right, so what's going on in math? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, well, your grades went down pretty drastically. So what do you mean? And he's like, I'm like, is it hard to focus? Are the questions getting harder? And he said, maybe a mix of both, of anxiety or the questions getting harder. And I'm like, all right, well, let's figure this out, because your score went down from 101 to a 70. I was like, so something in the last few weeks has been going on in math. And, I was like, did you change seats? And he said, yeah, we have assigned seats now. And I was like, all right, well, are you talking to somebody that you usually don't talk to? I was like, has your schedule changed? Like, is there a different class before math now? And I was like, or, do you sit near a friend now? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, well, do you sit closer to the teacher or further away? And he was like, I'm further back. And I'm like, okay, so now that you are sitting further back, you probably can't focus on what the teacher is trying to teach you. And, because in the back, there's so many kids in front of you that may be distracting you. And he's like, yeah, I guess, there's 25 kids in my class. So he has 25 kids in front of him now distracting him. And with ADD, it's very hard for him to stay focused in the first place. So I'm like, okay, so now that we broke it down and we were able to assess that maybe him being moved into the back is the reason why he can't focus as well to what the teacher is teaching. And that's what's making his grades go down a bit. So that was able for me to, instead of getting angry about the grades, which, a year ago or even prior to that, I probably would have gotten upset that his grades went down that drastically. Instead of taking the moment to step back from the situation and be like, okay, well, there's a reason why his grades went down like that, because math is his best subject. So taking that time to be able to kind of break it down and figure it out with him, I feel like made the world of a difference. And I was able to talk to his teacher and be like, I think it's because he's, sitting in the back. So we'll see how that goes, and maybe his grades will go back up, and hopefully they will. But I just want to come on and share that with us, because I feel like so many of us are taught to just react when situations like that happen, and instead of just taking a minute to really break it down and figure out what is the cause of that, because there's always a cause of that. So, see him peeking over here. I hope you all have an amazing Thursday, and I'll share with you guys again soon. Have a good day.